Well, good morning, everybody, and welcome to an office update here at reindl's Computer Service. So, we got about 10 days before everything comes to a close here. There's just one subject that I kind of need to address. So, basically, what happens is sometimes you get customers that get a little rowdy and get a little loud and boisterous, but sometimes it's normal. But if you should ever get customers that come in, you're screaming their heads off or using very obscene and foul language or very vulgar speech or hate speech of any kind. If I were you, I would not put up with that behavior. It's not acceptable in the workplace or in a local business or in a retail store or any other establishment or even a gas station. We had an incident here a couple days ago where I'm not going to name names or give that specifically detailed on the situation, but I'll just put it this way. Person brought a computer in. I didn't happen to be here at the time when it was brought in. So one of my relatives helped me out and stopped here and met the person and picked the PC up for me so I could do some service on it. And they told the one relative one story, but then when I called the other person to confirm if they wanted me to continue any further work on it, which they confirmed, so I went ahead and they told me a different story. So, first of all, the moral of what happened is actually we're not even to the end of what happened yet. So I'll get to that point in a few minutes. So once I got done with the computer, went through, did all the updates, and installed all the software that needed to be installed on under all the correct drivers, and made sure that it was ready to go. Actually, I got it done in a timely manner, so that wasn't too bad. Unfortunately, the previous hard drive that was in there was not recoverable, and I'm not really set up here as a clean room facility for doing those kind of services. So in a situation like that, I would have to outsource that work to a firm that specializes in data recovery. We can only do so much in a limited location, so to have a clean room facility is very expensive. So just to put that out there, we don't do that kind of service at reindl's Computer Service. If I did that kind of work, I'd have to charge $350 an hour to do if I had a clean room facility. Because with a clean room facility, you got special filtration. You put on hazmat suits basically, and everything is very sterile. And I'll tell you this room does not have its own air supply. It doesn't have air filtration, and it's not a very sterile room. So it would not be a good place to work on hard drives, period. So into that discussion, we're going to get back to. So when I called her on the phone, she says, "Well, how did data recovery go?" And I'm like, "Well, I wasn't able to successfully get much of anything off of your drive." So I guess that took the wind out of that person's sail, and I can understand that. You got a lot of pictures and stuff, but there's a catch-22 to that situation as well. That person should have backed up their files at least on a weekly basis. In case of a hard drive failure, which a hard drive failure is kind of common. Most traditional mechanical hard drives are only rated for about 20,000 hours. It doesn't matter if it's a Seagate hard drive or Western Digital or Barracuda. Actually, Barracuda is Seagate. But a lot of those traditional drives are... And in today's day and age where a lot of people with computers, they don't actually shut them off anymore. A lot of times they just let them on and go to sleep, and then if they got updates or something, usually around this time in the morning, majority of the computers that are in sleep mode catch up on updates, and that way by the time 7 or 8 a.m. come around, or earlier, that your computer's ready to go. You don't have to worry about you doing updates while you're in the middle doing your important work or game playing or whatever it is that you do. So enough said about that subject in particular. The thing that really threw red flag was it happened to be this, like, the morning of the person. Well, actually, no, wait, I gotta back up I forgot another important part. So the lady came in on the day that she was actually supposed to pick the thing up, and she paid me that, and I was fine with that. But when I told her that I couldn't get the data back, she was all hysterical and that, and I was thinking, oh, geez, that doesn't... How do you deal with somebody that's hysterically crying over lost data? And I thought she was distraught. That's what I legitimately thought. And then another fellow Good Samaritan happened to came along, and he came in and helped calm her down. And I'm not going to name names who it was, but the catch-22 to that situation was she really wasn't actually being hysterical. That was just an act that she was putting on because she wanted us to feel sorry for her. And not only did I fall for it, not only did the Good Samaritan that came in and calmed her down, not only did he fall for it, but my other relative fell for her act as well. So there's 3 people that got taken advantage of in this situation. And I didn't realize it. And the other 2 didn't realize it until after all that went down. So I ended up calling her later. And I said, I think you might want to come back to your computer. You paid up. We're all good there, but excuse me. I'm like, but you might want to come back and get that because you're going to need that. And so she says, I'll let you know when I'm ready for it. But she says, I'll let you know ahead of time when I'm going to come. And I'm like a set time. And she says, let me think it over when I got time. But the strange thing was when she didn't call me to let me know when she was coming. What she did was she showed up here before I even got over here in the morning, and she called me, and I just happened to be getting ready in the morning, and she called and was like, "If you don't get over here right away," she says, "I'm gonna take a brick and throw it through your front window." And I was like, "You're joking?" And she says, "No, I'm not joking." And I was actually kind of a little terrified in that situation. So I rushed over here as fast as I could because this is not my building, and I did not want the liability of a smashed window. I'm not talking just a little tiny window. I'm talking the big glass windows that are in the front here. For the whole kit and caboodle, that's well over $5,000 worth of glass and that. And I don't have that kind of money to fork up for a new window. So the really bizarre thing was when I got over here, I sensed there was something kind of off with her when she showed up. Because she also tried to play the game of accusing me of losing a mouse, which she never did bring a mouse with. And even the other relative verified that she didn't bring a mouse with a computer. So just to kind of smooth things over, I reimbursed her for a mouse that apparently got lost here. But as far as I know, there was no mouse that came with the computer when it was brought in. But the things that she was spewing out of her mouth is just out of this world. Not only the profanity and taking God's name in vain, when she was saying all that, it just kind of took the wind out of my sails. When she was all the other curse words in that's one thing, but when you take God's name in vain like that, it just makes you bitter and angry. It makes you it just makes you want to punch somebody's lights out when you hear somebody use blasphemy against God in that retrospect. I know there's a lot of people that use that terminology, but it's just very disgraceful to hear that. But when she showed up here, she also had on a black bandana covering the majority of her face, and that bandana said Black Lives Matter on there, so I'm thinking she was probably a supporter of Black Lives Matter. And it's not really what you think it is. It's also combined with Antifa. And I can't prove that she's part of it, but I kind of get the way that the actions that she brought out and that the way she was behaving and that the threat of violence that she was portraying, that will not be tolerated around here. I don't care who's sitting in here within the next few weeks after I vacate. I'll just put it this way: that kind of behavior will not be tolerated. And if that person ever shows up around here again and pulls that stunt, just to warn whoever it is, police will be called, and your shenanigans will not be taken lightly. So that's why I never recommend running a business like this out of my house. And I don't ever recommend having people coming in and out of my house or any business perspectives in that. What I'm trying to say is I don't recommend if you run a business at home and you don't have people in and out of your house, that's different. But when you have a lot of people in and out, and you get people like that come through acting violent and that, not only are you putting yourself in danger, but you're also putting your family in danger as well. Not for that so much, but what if you came home one night and you found your house broken into, or you happen to be in bed sleeping and they break in and sort of surprise you? There's a lot that you gotta bring into consideration your safety. And that's why I like having this office here. I kind of outgrew it. But when you got loved ones at home and that, you don't want to expose them to the dangers of psycho customers. Okay, I shouldn't quite put psycho, but they're more sociopaths. I guess you could put it. And basically, the whole moral of the situation that happened was eventually they're going to get caught in their lies. And that's pretty much what happened in this situation. Because so-and-so said their kid used it for school, but then they told me they needed it so they can save their Kohl's tabs or Walmart tabs. And that kind of, and I was thinking, well, that's fine. I'm like, but my thing I'm getting at is, was it for your son or was it really for you? And I know that's not for me to question, but when you hear several different versions of a story, you kind of get kind of curious whether or not if this is all legit or if they're trying to pull a scam. Excuse me. And the whole gist of it was, I knew she wasn't that poor off because towards the end, I knew that she was trying to get that computer for pro bono work, and I'm not about to do that. I got to make a living. And I'm sorry if I couldn't satisfy that specific person. But basically, what you got to realize is you're not going to please every customer that comes through your door, no matter how hard you try. No matter what honest integrity you have. There are just some people in this world that you're never going to please no matter what you do. And you got to accept that. You try your best, and that's all you can do. you can't beat yourself up for something that's out of your control. And just face it, it's happened here more often than a person would think. Some people you get for life as customers, and then sometimes you only get them one time, and due to the circumstances of finances and other limiting factors, it's just it's the way. Unfortunately, being a call by appointment business, people like if you're here from like 4:30 a.m. in the morning until 12 at night. And there are some days that I have been here in that time frame. And there's been a few days that I've even been here 24 hours without even leaving the premises because there's so much work. But the thing that most people realize is this is not a hobby business. I'm in the business of making an income. I got future plans and future investment properties that I would like to make some investments in. I'm not quite sure where, if I can get a good price on a piece of land. I might eventually, if I get enough cash flow from this place, I might be able to make that happen 10, 15, 20 years down the road. And then eventually, I got to build my savings back up. And that's for a while. Things were kind of slow here, and I just sort of ate through savings just to pay some of the bills and that for this place and some of the other expenses. And unfortunately, sometimes you can't get ahead. And since the rent is going up, it's kind of a perfect time to get out of here and just kind of move on. Even though I am being evicted, I just look at it this way. I don't have to pay rent and utilities anymore here, so it'll be one less burden. And I don't have to pay for 2 internet service charges either then. So that'll save me a little money. I'm still going to keep the landline number from this location. I'll just get it reported on my existing phone plan. It's not going to be a cell phone. It'll still be a landline. And I'll still keep the cell phone number that I started the business with. So that'll still be active. And the email address that I got from the service provider, that's phone per month is only $22 a month for the landline, and email is only like $25 a month. So $50 isn't as much as close to $500 or $600 for everything per month. It's been an interesting time here. Saw a lot of good and a lot of bad. And I had a lot of good times in here. And I had my dark times. it's a lot of people are like, "Are you going to have an anniversary party?" And I'm like, "No." I'm like, that's expensive. I'm like, if I was a multi-millionaire, yeah, I probably would have an anniversary party for the business and invite the customers for a brat and soda or something. But I don't have that kind of finances to do that kind of celebration. So usually what I do is I'll treat myself to a beer or something, but that's about it. I do plan on getting another office, but I got to build some finances in that first before making that happen. It'll come. It's just I got a few other issues I gotta work through as well. So physically or spiritually, religiously, physically. So after May 15th, you're probably not going to see as many videos coming out. It'll be more limited. I might have a few other projects that I'll upload on YouTube. But for now, as far as doing live streams and that, I'm not going to have as much time after leaving this establishment. I'll still be doing it, just be on a more, probably like a week to week or every other week, if that even, maybe once a month. I'm not shutting the channel down. I got a lot of other work I got to catch up on and have my other place of employment. I'm sort of falling behind on it, so I got to get stuff done. It's nothing against any of the YouTubers and the viewers and that out there. Just sometimes you just gotta get your top priority stuff done and that. So I want to thank everybody that tuned in. I hope everybody enjoyed this little update. We'll make couple more videos here before I get the internet terminated from this site. So as that comes, we'll make a couple more streams from this location, and after that, we'll figure that out as it comes. So God bless everybody. Take care, and we'll see you soon.